my soul, feeling the loss of control in the spirit, so colorful. Easy feeling, then let's go home to a place where you belong. Giving strength to carry on. Open your heart, set your mind at ease. Live your life and you'll be free. We're gonna rise, rise, rise. Keep on rising, rise, rise, rise. Rise, rise, keep on rising,
Good evening. Big smiles on faces tonight. We are still top of the table of the Premier League. And tonight, myself and Alex are going to do a deep dive on the fantastic result that happened at St James's Park yesterday. The Newcastle United 5, Aston Villa 1 result that I'm sure everyone can still remember. It's really like big in our memories. And I can't get it out of my mind, to be honest. I feel like Kylie Minogue. Alex, are you still buzzing from yesterday's game? Surely you must be. We all are, surely.
Yeah, it's not just the game, it's the nature of how we played. It's all the new signings working and the scoreline and the fact we're top of the Premier League and the fact that Liverpool and Chelsea just drew. So as far as I'm concerned, that's 2 points drop for both. So yeah, it can't really get much better, can it? So fingers crossed, it keeps going.
Incidentally, folks, if you are new to the channel and you do like what you see, please give us a thumbs up. Everyone in the chat actually should give us a thumbs up, a like, because that really helps us, pushes up the YouTube search engine and the algorithms, and helps like-minded fans to see what we're doing here, our fantastic work. Also, if you're new, please subscribe. Hit that subscribe button. It doesn't cost you a penny. We are heading for 23,000 subscribers at the moment, having just passed 22 a few weeks back. So it's all going swimming on that front. Paid membership, which is kind of a paid subscription, entitles you to prize draws, which gave 2 Newcastle shirts away last week in our prize draws. That's by clicking the join button, takes through to a payment route there. And of course, super chats are also available. And you do that by clicking the dollar sign below the chat. We'll do a few comments before we go any further. John Green was the first one in tonight. He said, "Good evening, everyone. What a start to the new season. Don't think any of us saw that coming." I think a few of us saw a win. I'm not sure it's going to be everyone would pick 5-1, but yeah, I agree. A lot of us were quite surprised at the depth of the victory. Night of Near Gaming says, well, Chelsea and Liverpool both looking decidedly average at best. Bodes well for the new season. Chelsea and Liverpool, I think both sides had good parts of the pitch and both sides had poor parts of the pitch. That makes sense to start.
Yeah, I mean, it's very, very new territory for both teams. A lot of changes. It is really funny watching all the pundits have no idea what these players are meant to be to play like, or obviously they're Premier League merchants and they don't watch a lot of other leagues. A lot of preconceived ideas about Disasi and especially Soboslai and a few other players. It's quite funny. They'll get to know them eventually, though. And it was an interesting game. They're both quite raw. They've got to get their tactics and shape in order. Of course, the talking point is that Caicedo, is he going to go to one or the other? So, although Enzo Fernandez had a very good game, to be fair, he looked like that's why Argentina won the World Cup. He was a big part of that with the system and the shape. Additionally, that's the big fee. You're buying the potential. Obviously, he wasn't worth that much money when they got him. But if he can play at that standard for a decade, then he's worth that money. It just depends what they can get out of him.
I agree. It was an interesting game of football to watch. John Green says, just hope Man U are the same tomorrow. They've got Wolves at home. No, I'm not seeing much more than a Man United victory there, Staho.
No, it does look like it's going to be an easy game for Man United. I hope Wolves can pull something out of the bag, but my hope is that they just don't get a better goal difference than us. And we can stay top of the league until game week 2.
That's mine too. But if anyone is ever going to piss on our chips, it's going to be Man United. They seem to do it quite regularly. Tom Lynch says, Buonasera, everybody. Yes, they were really faster. The ball we passed her really well. I'm going to try and say it without sounding Italian. Last night I drank Moretti, ate a burger, not spaghetti. And Villa, what a mistake to make. Excellent post, Tom. Good evening to you, Marius. Evening to Chippers. Cole says, Tom Lynch is waiting, talking Italian. Oh, I see what you did there. Evening also. Hello, Jock. Hope you're well. Secret Carper says, drop them thumbs up if we are top of the league. Exactly. That's a good point. If we're top of the league, hit that like button. Who else we got in the chat? Lots of people here. Coach Austin says, evening all. Great start. The Italian stallion answered any questions asked. All looked fantastic, hungry, creative, and intense. I guess we better come to him first, haven't we? As soon as he scored the first goal, Mr. Tonali had a debut to be, be remembered in many years' time. It was a fantastic showing, wasn't it, from Tonali?
Yeah, I mean, I do it quite often. I'm going to do it again. I predicted this in the preview. I did say there were a lot of people suggesting that it should be Longstaff. It will be Longstaff because of favouring people who have already been in the squad for a long time. And I completely disagreed. As Tonali, I feel like looks fit. He played in the under-21 championships. He looks very, very tidy. He was okay in preseason. I feel like Sean Longstaff wasn't okay in preseason. He didn't look fully fit, and he was a bit sloppy as well. He will get up to speed. There's no doubt about it. But Tonali looked like the better player to be starting, and Eddie Howe confirmed that after the match and saying that it was a fitness decision. Tonali was fitter. I don't think it's just that. I think he's got to say that for the cameras. He can't throw players under the bus. Outstanding performance. Yeah, the work rate, the passing. I mean, we'll go through a few Tonali bits. We won't spoil it. We won't do all of it at the start.
No.
There's interesting statistics for Tonali, and it does look like maybe the raw data that we looked at pre-signing maybe does him a bit dirty, because in this team, I think he's gonna come on leaps and bounds. Passing accuracy and certain bits just look top notch.
Just looks a really quality player, doesn't he? A really quality player. We have a 999 super chat in from Southern Geordie. He says, finally managed to get St James's Park after being a fan for 27 years. 6-hour trip, so worth it. Couldn't believe what I was seeing. Should have won by more. Amazing day. St James's was rocking. Thanks for the 999 super chat, Southern Geordie. Really appreciate that. Thanks ever so much. Tom Lynch says, like an Italian thoroughbred, a Ferrari Testarossa against a clapped-out, wheezing, bummy donkey of an Austin Maestro. Which they used to make in Birmingham, of course. John Green makes a good point. Not bad subs left on the bench. Again, we spoke about that before the game. The depth on the bench makes us a much harder prospect to play against, because we can change things up at will. Yesterday, the bench players come on and all contributed fantastically, didn't they?
Yeah, I mean, that was the whole point in the way we've been sort of acquiring transfers is squad building, depth, improving the first 11, but also improving the squad. It's not just about improving a player on the pitch. It's exactly the kind of thing that Spurs are going to have to go through now in replacing Harry Kane. They need to do what we're doing. Upgrade the squad, buy players who fit the system, the shape, the ethos, and it's exactly what we've done. And it leads to games like we had yesterday, where we can go absolutely balls to the wall with intensity, and we've got really decent substitutions that understand the system, the shape. Harvey Barnes is very new to this team, as is Tonali, and both quite happy. I mean, look at the little passing sequences. That was it, the third or the fourth goal? I can't remember. We scored so many. The really pretty one where there was a nice little back heel short pass from Tonali. No, I think it was Joe Linton, and then Tonali threaded the through ball to Barnes. Barnes squares it to Wilson. So two of our new boys involved in what was sexy football. It was the intricate passing sequence there. It's hard to practice that. That's just creative. That's creativity, and that's what we missed. And the fact that the new boys are part of those sorts of passing sequences is outrageous. Imagine when they've got 6 months of playing together. It's frightening, absolutely frightening.
It is. Mason makes a really nice point here, actually. I just want to say thoughts go out to Tyrone Mings after the scenes yesterday. Hope he's okay and makes a quick recovery. Yeah, it was a horrific injury. We could see it. His knee get actually go. You can see it snap. He's done that cruciate ligament before. We don't know officially what it is yet, but he looks like he's going to be out for a while. And a nice touch from the James's Park crowd, Alex, to clap him off as he was stretched off the pitch.
Yeah, it was great from everyone in the stadium, Villa fans and obviously the home fans clapped as soon as they realised it was quite serious. I mean, you could see from his sort of breathing, he was panicking a little bit. I think he was very distraught, and it's not nice to see. You know, if you get a little hamstring ping or a player's going to be out 4, 6, 8 weeks, you don't always have as much sympathy for them, but you don't want players to be out for as long as he might be out for. It is quite concerning. And hopefully he has a speedy recovery.
Yeah, I mean, he's done the injury before. I think he knew. Very poor for the Villa physios, I have to say, having him on that pitch for 5 minutes. And it took Kieran Trippier actually to signal for stretchers. But they dealt with the situation abysmally, if I'm perfectly honest. He should have been off that pitch way before he was. So marks out of 10 for the Villa physios, a big fat 0 for that. I was shocked by how inept they actually were. Not in a game. In the game, it was amazing to see our benches still come on and change the game. When was the last time we could say that? Yeah, we've said that, haven't we? Hello, Colin. Hope you're well. And Julie J, hope you're well too. Clark is in the chat also, as is Barry the Bee and Chris O'Neill. And the comments just skipped there. Strange. Incidentally, anyone posting like derogatory things about Tyrone Mings, you're not going to get it read out. We're not like that. We're much better than that. We're a much classier fan base than mocking injured folk, especially one as serious as that. We've all criticised Tyrone Mings' football ability in the past, but no one likes to see that. And actually, that injury I think it caused a lot of Villa's problems in defence, didn't it, Alex? They brought a player on that doesn't play like Mings, Pau Torres, but still playing the high line, and it didn't suit his way of playing at all, did it?
I mean, I think we were okay anyway. I mean, the reason Mings got injured in the first place was because we tested that high line and Isak came off better. I appreciate he got injured in the 50-50, but he lost the 50-50 anyway before he went down. So I think we were coping okay. A lot of people, a little bit frustrating that it was, even Shearer said that it was Mings' injury that turned it. Fair enough, it might have made their heads drop a little bit. I can understand that. I think he's the captain. Is he the captain or is it McGinn that's the captain? Either or. He's a leader on the pitch. However, I don't think it was as dramatic. And it wasn't, the thing that we highlighted about Pau Torres was the lack of sort of reading of the game airily. But I don't think that was a problem. I think it was the high line. He's a good player for Villarreal. He should have understood that a little bit better. And it wasn't even him that was making a lot of the issues. It was Conser wasn't great either. There was a lack of understanding there. I think once that third had gone in, the heads dropped. And we mentioned this yesterday during the watch along that, and I've seen a lot of the Villa vlogs have said this as well. They're very disappointed at how they downed tools. They're shocked and a little bit surprised, especially with Emery as the manager, that players were sort of downing tools at 75 minutes. However, a lot of these Villa fans need to give us credit that it is our intensity, our fitness, our stamina. And it's not just because Tyrone Mings got injured that you lost that game. You were going to lose that game. The same as I said in commentary yesterday. We play that game 10 more times. We win all 10. Not even close. That final 20 minutes is where you lose that game, hands down. And we managed to get goals earlier on in the game because of quality. But we were never going to lose that game.
Do you remember last season when Martinez got concussed and had to go off? And again, it took him ages to get him off the pitch. Remember, that's another thing for the Villa physios. Need to have a look at that. But if that had happened yesterday, we'd have scored 12 goals. I think. I really do. I really think that, the Will was our oyster as far as goals scored was concerned, because he was their best player by a country mile, I thought. Not of Knee Gaming says, "Where's Danielle when you need her to award tens across the board?" Well, keep tuned. You never know. New Jersey Georgia says, what are they going to say about Newcastle now? They expected us to take a step back, but we looked twice as good yesterday. The league is frightened. I tend to agree with that. The media seem to be kind of playing us down, and they don't like the fact that we're threatening, do they, Alex? I'm pretty sure that they want their regimented big six, as they like to call it, filling them top 6 spots. They hate us being there, don't they?
They do indeed. A lot of the coverage and the build-up to this weekend didn't really include us. There was a little bit of Villa hype, which is fair. I think it's going to be an exciting season for Villa. I don't think it's very good for Villa, though. I think they've overhyped them. The quality of the midfield, Diaby, obviously he's a brilliant player, Diaby, but and then Emery being the boss, I think they've overhyped him. They've put a lot of pressure on the squad to perform, a lot of pressure on Villa to try and manage a European campaign and try and push and challenge that top six. That's hard. That's really, really hard. They've got to, and they've been very unfortunate with injuries as well. Game 1 of the season, they've already got Buendia and Mings out, so that's a big, big problem. And in terms of underrating, I mean, look what they did to Tonali. Everybody's U-turning. Jamie Redknapp, I feel like very inappropriately U-turned live on air after we all heard him. Well, I heard him after the fact, but he'd stated 2 different things about Tonali. After the game, he'd had a good one. And you know, we might as well talk about Tonali. Why not? So in terms of flopping, he did nothing of the sort. The data when he signed, we saw last season he got 76% pass accuracy. So I'm going to quote from Kev on Twitter if anybody doesn't follow Edit Kev. So he's done a nice thread of some little differences and key components to yesterday's game with Tonali. So gone from 76% passing accuracy last season. Yesterday he was just shy of 90%, with several very, very tidy long range passes. One of which was that left-footed switch that was 63 yards. Wow. Kev has found out on Way I Scout on the website. 63-yard left-footed switch.
On a 6 foot as well, wasn't it?
For people querying his passing ability and his passing range, some websites are conflicting. Some saying he misplaced 4 passes. Some saying he misplaced 6. Either way, he was absolutely ever present. His passing was magnificent. In terms of pressures on the ball as well, I've lost the post now, but I think he was up to about 31 pressures. So he got the second most pressures out of anybody in our team. So it was Joelinton was first with 37 pressures, and then Tonali second with 31, and then it was Gordon and Bruno. So the fact that, you know, he's up there, his passing was magnificent. He got the second most pressures out of anybody on that pitch. And don't forget, he got substituted off as well. And he still managed to accumulate the second most pressures. So he handled it magnificently. Not only that, he also scored. So what more can you do?
We may as well talk about that goal now. 6 minutes into the game. It was a nice move, actually. Tonali was part of the start of it, wasn't he? He received the ball, nice little touch to get him past the midfielder. Laid out Trippier, did a nice little kind of scissors move, didn't he? Cut inside, laid it to Bruno, his shot. Yeah, Bruno's shot. Good effort. Martinez made a parry save to it. Joelinton recovered it. Or was it Gordon recovered it? Gordon recovered it. Back to Joelinton. Mm-hmm. Bailey left him, let him go, Gordon, and Joelinton fed him in again. Fantastic left foot cross. Tonali ghosted in the middle of the 6-yard box, actually. Poor defending from Villa. I thought Dini's ball watching there was horrific. But a great finish and a great goal to start the game off.
Yeah, I mean, the original shot from Bruno was really, really tidy. It was created from Kieran Trippier's chop. So for anybody questioning his athleticism or his age, he looks fine at the moment. Lovely little cut inside with that chop. Gave it to Bruno. Bruno, nice shot from outside the box with a 0.07 XG on that chance. So he hit it well. Martinez pushed it out to the side. Obviously, it was recycled with Joelinton and Anthony Gordon quite well. And then Tonali just read the game so well. This is what, and to be fair to Sean actually does this quite a lot. He was reading it quite well last year. He was getting in these positions. He just wasn't scoring from them. It was that lack of quality, whether it's finishing or technical ability. And I know Eddie Howe's alluded to the fact that he thinks Sean Longstaff's got a high technical level, but I mean, you don't bring in Tonali if that's the case. And Tonali read it and finished it, which is exactly what we signed him for. And that was a 0.22 XG chance as well. So you score 1 in 5 of them ish, but with a player of that quality, you're going to bury him most of the time. And he was unfortunate not to get 2 goals, to be fair.
Yeah, he nearly scored again. 2 or 3 minutes later, wasn't it? Another fantastic kind of move, which led Gordon to feed him in through the left-hand area, corner of the area. Tried to beat Martinez at his near post. Martinez saved. Then Villa started to come into the game a bit. They started hitting us on a counter. We didn't heed our warnings when Diabo was clean through and was chased back virtually the whole length of the pitch by Anthony Gordon. Terrific defensive work. Got in front of him and put him off his shot. We didn't kind of heed the warnings on that, did we? Because they scored soon after that, didn't they?
Yeah. I'm kind of 50-50 with that goal because I feel like it was very lucky on Villa's part.
I agree.
I feel like there were so many things that had to go right for that goal to be scored.
Absolutely.
So Digne to not get pressed, Digne to cross it well, and it was then deflected into the path of Ollie Watkins, who then won the header, who won the 50-50, flicked onto Diaby. He didn't know Diaby was there. He just tried to flick it on generally into into the dangerous area. And then Diaby with an incredible finish. So well done. It was a good goal. It was well taken from, they did everything they needed to do. Digne, his job is to try and get the cross in. Watkins' job is to try and flick the ball on, and Diaby's job is to try and poke it in the net. But it was so many variables that just all worked at the same time. I did feel like it was, the stars aligned for them to get a goal. The Cash one, the Matty Cash missed chance, was more of a certain goal than the one they actually scored. And Pope rooted to the spot. Unfortunately, it was an absolute bullet from Diaby. But yeah, it will happen. It will happen. I feel like there was a couple of times where we just weren't pressuring the cross. We've got to try and shut down that cross, because it can happen in the box when things just, you can have really, really good shape and preparation, but after the ball's bounced 2, 3, 4 times, it's chaos. And that's why Brentford are so good with their set pieces. It can just happen. So you've got to try and deal with it at source, or maybe the first or second ball. And then beyond that, it gets really, really tricky. So it happens though. We're going to concede goals. It's fine. But as long as we score 5 every game, we'll be all right.
I mean, how many times last season did I say about the ricochets not going in our favour? You had the deflection from Digne's cross off Trippier's boot, which Ollie Watkins could never have known it's going to go in his direction.
No.
When it did get there, he managed to just get his head to it and manoeuvre it into Diaby's path. I mean, like you say, it was a great finish, but like you say, there's that many variables happened there. I got a £5 super stick from Colin Nicol. Thanks, Colin. I really appreciate that, mate. Very generous. No comment there. Barry, they've been excited for this live stream. Well, we're going to go into some stats in a minute. Statto's got all the stuff there ready to go with us. First, only 37 games left to play. There we dream, says Indigo Figure.
I was thinking about this morning, I was thinking about this. Obviously, because we've got City and Liverpool next, on the off chance, and it is an off chance, if you guys disagree with me or you're extra believey today, fine. But it is an outside chance. If we can beat City, and then potentially Liverpool as well, all of a sudden it starts to get a bit, you can imagine what the media are going to be like. Well, the money and the purchases have propelled us up to a title challenge. Are they in a title race? It's going to be madness. And it might be a lot of pressure, to be fair. Do we want that? Because if we beat City, it's going to be the narrative.
Of course it is. Yeah.
Whereas if we don't, even if we just get a cheeky little draw, they'll leave us alone and they'll be like, Newcastle aren't ready yet. It's fine. They'll challenge, but they're not quite ready. Whereas obviously if we do beat City and Liverpool, they're going to heap the pressure on us. And I guess we're going to have to get used to that. But it's going to be tough if we do accumulate more points than we expect in this next few weeks, and then we get the Champions League draw. It's scary, but it's good. It's good scary. This is what we've got to get used to. It's good scary.
The one each situation didn't last long. Newcastle got a free kick on the left-hand side of centre in the Villa half. Everyone was expecting Trippier to lump it in, but he didn't. He squared it to Tonali on the other side of the pitch. He crossed it in very culturedly. Botman beat the offside trap, made a lovely cutback with his left foot into the path of Isak. He put it into the net. It was a great set-piece goal, Alex. A really good one. Really enjoyed that.
I mean, so this is exactly what we reviewed when we were looking at when Tonali signed. Some of the goals he scored, a lot of those were from open play. I mean, technically it was open play because it was a live ball, wasn't it? After Trippier's touched it, but still, and it was for that reason. It was from that right hand side, whipped in ball, really, really well worked in the training ground. They knew if it went past everyone, bring it back across goal. Botman did really well, and Isak's just very rarely misses. He's so lethal, to be fair. He's frightening. But that is excellent. It gives us an additional option. Upon reflection, this is great. It means we're going to need to rotate Trippier. Trippier can't play all the games this year. So the games that Livramento plays, I think we need to have either Tonali or Trippier. We can't have a game in which neither plays because we need that set piece threat. So I think Tonali's going to have a lot more games than he wants necessarily. Well, he probably wants all of them, to be fair. Yeah. But yeah, it could be an interesting dynamic having Livramento And then if Tonali plays, it's fine. We've got somebody who can hit free kicks, who's great at set pieces. You know, when we watched and did the watch-alongs for the under-21 Euros, his corners, his set-piece deliveries were exceptional. They were sublime. So I'm excited for our set pieces. A few outside shouts. I saw Alex Hurst put a prediction in about Dan Burn and Botman scoring a bunch of goals. I completely agree. We massively underperformed last year in terms of centre halves and the big lads scoring from set pieces. I think we're going to break that eventually, and we'll start banging them in. So it's good.
If Botman can ping the balls he does and share, and that kind of cutback from Botman was inch perfect, he should be able to hit the net, shouldn't he? Let's be honest. So I tend to agree with that. There's a comment here from Mr. Paul who says, "I'm gone for 2 minutes and already Alex has nicked my background."
That's true. I mean, I can change it, to be fair.
And also, there's a question for you, Alex. Roger says, "How are you, Alex? As of today, I'm free of COVID."
Me too. I did a test this afternoon, so yeah, I'm all good. I'm still a little bit, croaky, but I think I had a sore throat as well. I think I don't know if it's possible to have two separate viruses at the same time. I don't know, but I think I was a little bit ill anyway. But yeah, negative test, so we're all good.
We also have a £5 super chat from Roadblock. He says, "Top of the league, 5 goals. Mackham's lost, Everton lost. Do they make better weekends? We're so good. Doesn't matter who starts. Nobody wants to play us." And there's Collins super chat there as well. Thanks for that, Roadblock. Nobody does want to play us. I think Champions League draw. There'll be a lot of teams. Well, most teams will be trying to want to avoid us. Surely, I mean, St James Park isn't the place to want to come to, is it? Let's be honest.
Oh, I've ruined the green screen now. No, I completely agree. This is something that we mentioned yesterday. I can't remember if I mentioned this on when we were on air or not. I think so. People are going to be absolutely. Well, I think it was a commenter actually. I don't want to steal the thing. It was somebody's comment who gave me that idea, but I can't remember who it was. I do apologize. Yeah, if you're waiting for that Champions League draw, you do not want us. You do not want to draw us. If you are Real Madrid, Barcelona, Bayern Munich, and you're trying to win your domestic league and you've got a lot of fixtures that year, you don't want to come and visit us on a Tuesday night when you've got fixtures at the weekend. No chance. They are not going to enjoy. Well, they will enjoy it. They're footballers, but in terms of prepping for the way we play and the intensity, because it's just great for us. There's no pressure. There's no expectation for us to win Champions League games. There's no expectation for us to get out of our group. It is a free hit. It's literally, let's go and have loads of fun, see what we can do against the elite teams, because we don't normally get to play them. So they're not going to be looking forward to it. I think it's going to be great.
Indeed. Tom says, to Paul, is Alex not house sitting? Well, he's sitting in the cathedral now. He's changed his situation to the top of it looks like level 7 there, where he is in a minute.
Yeah, Paul's definitely not up here. He's scared of the height. So,
Chris says our recruitment compared to the so-called top 4 is a step ahead. Yeah, I tend to agree with that. I think our signings never make any bad ones, really, do we? Alex has creeped Paul's Ken while he's away. Alex the cat burglar. I'd say Isak is closest thing to Henry, and that excites the lad me, says my knee gaming. And Phoenix says, "Phoenix Sport Boy, I hope you're well. Even if Billy Alex, our bench season is going to be scale a lot of teams to pace and the continuous press, no respite to anyone." So half time, 2-1 to Newcastle. Yeah, we kind of deserved, I think, a 2-1 lead at half time. I think we both agreed on that. 35 minutes, Alex praised the referee in our commentary, and the following 55/65 minutes, he turned into Coco the Clown, didn't he? He was absolutely awful after that.
Yeah, the first 35 minutes, I was thinking to myself, you know what? This has been lovely so far. It's been good football. You know, Villa's goal was fair. Our goal was fair. It's not been too bad. You know, a few fouls here and there, but generally he's got the right call 9 times out of 10. And I was feeling quite positive about it. And then as soon as I mentioned it, I don't know what happened, but it's like they just madness ensued, and it just the fourth official, linesman, the referee himself, just all the calls were just so bizarre. You know, one of our lads would go down, then he'd give Villa a free kick, and then vice versa. I think he was doing bad calls for us and bad calls for Villa at times. They were just really bad calls on the whole. It was a very incompetent refereeing performance for the sort of post 30 minutes. It was odd. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. But they're not honouring the rules that they said they were going to honour, or they were going to implement. Sorry. Just really strange, really strange stuff.
It was. The second half came and started, and we were dominating. Really, the second half. Thought we were, through most of it, we were by far the better side. It was no surprise when Alexander Isak got his second of the game, albeit through a terrible error from Ezri Konza at the back. But a fantastic finish, Alex, which you nicknamed Peter Dinklage on the chat yesterday. I think that's what it's going to be from now on, a little chip, a Peter Dinklage.
Indeed, yeah. Yeah, I think, Villa fans have mentioned this a few times. They were frustrated with that second half because they thought they were controlling the game early on in the second half. I don't know if you were controlling the game. I think Emery brought on Tielemans specifically to have a bit more of the ball, but you didn't really do a lot with it. Apart from that Matty Cash chance, that there was obviously the time where Botman got turned inside out, but but equally we had a lot of chances that we missed as well. And I feel like a lot of it was just general possession. Control and possession are two different things in football, and control was not what Villa had at all. It's what we had, obviously, with the aggression. Konsa makes the mistake. He tries a little ball roll. Actually, when I looked at the highlights, he tried a little ball roll. He didn't quite bring the ball as far as he meant to, and Isak's obviously going left, going right. And then, the little Peter Dinklage. It's a cracking finish. Again, a lot of people not giving Isak the credit he deserves there. A lot of them saying, oh, the goal only happened because Konsa made a mistake. He chipped it in the corner. There was an on-rushing defender and the goalkeeper to beat, and he dinked that in the corner. I feel like you've got to give Isak a lot of credit for it as well. It's not just the fact that Konsa made an error.
He forced a mistake, didn't he? He forced a mistake. I mean, if Isak wasn't there, he wouldn't have made it, would he? Simple as that. And it was a fantastic finish. Exactly. Fantastic finish. So that made it 3-1 to Newcastle. We mentioned Tielemans earlier. He's not the player you want to bring on when you're behind, is he? He's a very temperamental player. It's fine if you're winning, but if you're losing, he's not the man you want in the trenches next year. I wasn't that impressed with him, I'll be perfectly honest. I thought he was totally outrun by our midfield alongside his compatriots. What's his name? Kamara, Louise. He come on from McGinn, didn't he? So, I thought that midfield was really poor yesterday.
Well, I thought Kamara was okay up to about an hour, and then he got frustrated again. He was one that down tools. I think he needs a slap for that. Not good enough. Tielemans, again, is very technically sound, but isn't up for a fight. Very, very leggy. Even when he comes on fresh legs, he looks quite leggy, to be fair. McGinn off. I don't think McGinn had a great game, but I feel like when you take McGinn, I thought McGinn is exactly what you need when you're in that position. I'm a little bit confused by that substitution. I don't think that was the right move at all. I think McGinn would have helped them because he would have been tenacious. He would have tried to fight for the ball. He would have been a leader and tried to get the midfield flowing. He would have told Kamara off for being lazy. I'm confused by that decision. Obviously I don't want Villa to do well, but I think that would have helped them. But they were very lazy, and it's testament to our front three and our midfield, to our shape, our relentless pressing energy. We've got the intensity as well as the technical ability, and Villa were just technical ability. Once it got to 60 minutes, they were knackered, absolutely knackered.
Yeah. I mean, McGinn was a bit ratty, wasn't he, yesterday? He was trying to get Botman sent off at half-time on the way off. Didn't really do much in the game at all, really. Wasn't effective in the slightest. Like you, I thought Kamara was okay. Luiz did a couple of nice bits. I thought he started pretty well, but faded. But I thought that's why the game was won for us when he was in the middle of the park.
I think we could pull any of those Villa midfields and put them into our squad. Give them 2 months with Eddie Howe, and they'd be brilliant.
Yep, I agree. I agree with that.
I think they're nearly there, but I don't think they're going to get there. So I don't think they're going to be coached our way.
I agree with that. So 3-1. Subs then came on. Wilson came on. Barnes came on. Gordon and Isak went off. And it wasn't long before Callum Wilson got his customary goal, first game of the season goal, which is his 4th season on the trot. He's got a goal in the first game of the season. And it was a cracking move, wasn't it? A really intricate move, like you said earlier. Tonali, Barnes, all involved in it. And fantastic. Easy finish for Wilson, who had an easy one than that and missed, unbelievably. But 4-1. and it was a great goal.
Yeah, that is a highlight reel goal. If the Premier that is a Premier League highlight goal. If they're trying to promote their brand, and if Sky or BT or whatever they're called now, if any of these broadcasters or the Premier League are trying to advertise their product, you play that goal. It was a beautiful goal, regardless of whose team it is. It's just such a good overall footballing goal. Everyone was on the same page. It just worked perfectly. And the fact that you can score that goal with two players making their Premier League debut for us is outrageous. It's outrageous. The link-up play between, I think there was, five players involved? No, four. Joelinton, Tonali, Barnes, Wilson in that little move. Half of the move is made up from players we've only just got. Crazy. It was such a beautiful little move. It was very pretty football.
Well, it was 4-1, and we might as well finish the game. The score.
Can I just rewind a little bit as well? I do feel like, because obviously we've not really spoken about Gordon.
No, we haven't.
Pre sort of him going off. I feel like a lot of people getting frustrated in the chat that we've not done that. And yeah, you're kind of right, to be fair.
We're going to.
So his pressing, yeah, absolutely insane. I absolutely loved what him and Joelinton did together. They would rotate where necessary. I'll show you when we get to the graphics what I mean by this, but sometimes Joelinton was next to Isak as a centre forward. Sometimes he was the left winger. Sometimes he was part of the midfield. Sometimes he was trying to, cover that defensive side on the left. There were a lot of moments where it was very much a double pivot with Tonali and Bruno. But Gordon and Joelinton were always in the right place at the right time, whether it was a defensive move or an offensive move, interchanging perfectly. And there was one particular moment when we got countered where Anthony Gordon made a 60-yard recovery run to go and pressure the defender. It's exactly why we've signed him. Anybody with any doubts about Anthony Gordon, is he the finished article? Absolutely not. He's going to make mistakes. He's going to miss shots. He's going to get booked. He's going to be frustrating at times. But the energy and the technical level, it's all there. He's got all of the raw ingredients. He just needs to be coached, and he needs to play matches, because he could be an absolute superstar. He looks great.
Yeah, I think I was the only one that had him in my predicted starting lineup, and it was precisely for that. Not precisely for that, because obviously he's an attacking threat. But I think you need someone with massive pace to keep up with the Arbin. He actually caught him and went past him. It was an amazing bit of energy, speed, heart, and desire to do it. And people have kind of accused Gordon of not having any of those things apart from the pace bit. I thought he had an outstanding game, and not just that. I mean, the assist for the goal was a brilliant cross. He had a potential other assist to Tonali, also a constant threat for the whole game. I thought that was his best performance by a long way for Newcastle United. Really.
Proof of that as well is all the Villa fans saying that Matty Cash had a terrible, terrible game.
He did, and he probably should have been
Anthony Gordon was running him ragged all game.
Yeah, he probably should have been sent off. I mean, he kicked him 5 or 6 times. I think he got
it took 5 fouls for the booking, didn't it? Which was very generous from the referee.
Of course, Gordon did one in return and got booked for it straight away, which was that was Mr. Madley for you all over. Ben says, do you think a lot of other pundits and YouTubers having us down as 6th, 7th is fair, or do you think people are massively underestimating us again? Well, I had us down as 2nd, actually. So I think it is, but I don't know what Alex thinks.
It's good, though. It takes the pressure off. Again, I think it doesn't matter. I really don't think it matters. I think all that matters is we try and get 60-plus points again. That's it. How many did we get last year? We got 61 points. Position is irrelevant. It's about points. We need to try and make sure we're either getting the same as we had last year or a little bit more. We need to try and build on that. And then we need to not embarrass ourselves in Europe. If we can try and qualify for the Conference League minimum, it means we can give a bigger squad more minutes. So I think it is really, really important we try and at least qualify for the Conference League, because then obviously if we've got a bigger squad, we can give everybody lots and lots of minutes next season, which is really, really important. But I don't think it really matters. I think it doesn't matter as much as people think. Obviously, Champions League is amazing, but so many things can happen in football. And for people talking about title challenging, let's be realistic here that Man City break 90 points every season and we finish with 61. So
got more than 61, didn't we? I'm sure we had more than 61 last season.
I think it was it
I'm sure
not?
we're in the 70s.
I'll have a look. No, we weren't. We definitely weren't that high up. What was last season? 2022, 23 Premier League table.
I don't know if he finished fourth with 61. I'm sure I had more than that.
It was
Maybe
71. Not. Oh, yeah, I am wrong. 71. I don't know why I'm thinking 61. Yeah, 71 points.
I thought we had
So
more
maybe
than
not as bad as I'm thinking. Well, I don't know why I'm thinking 61 points. My bad, guys. But even so, okay, a 20-point gap.
Yeah.
Do we make up a 20-point gap to title challenge with Europe? I'd just be happy if we get in and around the same sort of points.
I agree. Might as well do the fifth goal while we're here before we go into some stats and some graphics. Again, it was poor from Villa really to allow us to actually score the goal. Kamara was awful. Pau Torres got caught off the pitch also. A fantastic through ball from Jacob Murphy, who don't just come on the pitch, possibly his first touch even, to put Harvey Barnes in. He went in on goal from the left corner of the area. Right-footed, past Martinez, went across him instead of near post. Martinez did get a foot to it, but couldn't stop it going in. Capped a fantastic performance, Alex. 5-1.
Yeah, I think Jacob Murphy deserves a little shout there. His awareness. There were a couple of times where there were players on rushing to tackle him, and he was just dinking it around them. His reading of the game, his positioning, and his technical ability is improving. It really is improving. All of us have been saying, Miggy starts, all these other wingers start. We needed to upgrade up front. We need to upgrade the wide areas. And Jacob Murphy has just been working away in the background, and he looks faster, fitter, stronger, technically better. He's been scoring goals. He's been setting them up. He's been playing right back. He's been sort of dinking the ball round players. And yeah, I mean, really, really impressive. The fact that none of us really are including anybody like Murphy in the starting lineup. And I feel like he's really unfortunate, as is somebody like Anderson. But I think Murphy was great. He helped keep us on the front foot in those final. I'm not sure how long he was on for. We can double check. But he helped keep us on the front foot because everybody was looking up, making sure we were playing those careful passes because we were getting the chances. It was the lads up front that were not providing the finishes. We could have had two or three more really, but well done to the people starting off the counter attacks because we got the ball in the right areas. We were creating the high value chances, and that's all the manager wants is create the high value chances and just bloody well finish them most of the time if you can.
Do you know what I love about Jacob Murphy is he's just happy to be there. He's never going to cause any eruptions. He's never going to demand a spot in the starting lineup week in, week out. Just a fantastic Newcastle United professional. He's just an integral part of the squad also, I think. I really do. I think he's the life and soul of the party if you read between the lines. Yeah. £20 super chat from Spike Milligan. Thanks, Spike. He says it's a great start to the season. Just have to ignore commentators and pundits. Keep up the great work. Thanks, mate. And much appreciated to your continued donation. It's very generous of you, sir. Yano says Tonali is proper two-footed. And this is an interesting point from Terry C. He says Man City will play Sevilla on Wednesday in Athens and have us on Saturday. I feel very positive about our chance in the game. Yeah, it's Super Cup, isn't it?
That is true.
Wednesday.
That is a very good point.
All right, Alex, what you got stat-wise? Let's have a look.
Well, I feel like there's one more thing we have to talk about, isn't there?
Okay.
Before we do that, Martinez.
Oh, Mr. Martinez. Do you still think of the red card?
All right. The letter of the law at the moment, it's not a red card. However, I do think it needs to be changed. Maybe not. I think it needs to be interpreted better in that it's not a clear goal scoring opportunity, but there are two factors there. The fact that Martinez has made no attempt to play the ball, he's played the player. And then additionally, I understand that there was a covering player, but the covering player cannot use his hands. And that doesn't seem to be factored into the rule. And that is a huge oversight. It doesn't matter if there's a man back. He can't touch the ball. He can't do what Martinez does. It's a different level of player. Martinez can do a lot more defensively in the box because he can use his arms and hands. I feel like it needs to be revisited, or it needs to be done differently. But yeah, technically it's a yellow. I'm frustrated with it. A lot of people seem to have said the same as me as well, that it needs to maybe be altered slightly because that situation is silly because you can run out of your box as a keeper and just clatter someone And as long as there's a covering player, it's fine. It's not a sending off. So we need to remember this for the rest of the season now. If there's a situation where maybe Share's in the box, Pope could just come out and absolutely munch someone, yellow card.
Do you know what doesn't make
As
sense?
far as the rules are saying.
What doesn't make sense with the whole thing for me is swap that round. Say if it was a defender going out there and does the same to Miggy, and if he hadn't done it, he was clean through on goal with Martinez, he'd probably get sent off because there's no defenders in the way.
Yeah, I mean,
there is a defender, but there's no goalkeeper. That's the whole point to me. I think there's a grey area there. But take that aside.
There is.
He then pushes his hand into Miggy's face. So to me,
I hated that as well. That really irritated me. That got overlooked by the referee. Keep an eye on it for the rest of the season, guys, because let's not forget we've got a lot more sweeper keepers in the league now than we've had before. Onana's in for Man United. Everyone's playing a lot more sweepery now. There's a lot of sweeper keepers in the league. This will happen again, and we've just got to see if there's at least if they're going to be consistent with it. Fine. As if we get in that position and we only get a yellow card for Pope, then we can't moan. But I just feel like that wouldn't be the case. I feel like we'd get the red. I really do.
I'm multiple in the comments. Let's have a look at some graphics then, mate. Let's see what we've got.
Yeah. There we go. How are we doing this? I'm not even sure which one to do. Is it this one? It is this one. There we go. I didn't know which tab I was picking. So we've got, I don't know why we've got 2 balls on the screen, but I mean, we might as well have played with 2 balls. We've scored that many goals. So we've got average positions as taken from SofaScore. So this was our average shape for the match. Well, not really average shape, but average positions of everybody. And I think it rings fairly true. You've got Trippier pushing on and the back 3 being a back 3, but kind of lopsided. Gordon or Joe Linton dropping back where necessary to provide cover for Burn. I thought Burn did okay. A lot of this functioning relies on Botman being very intelligent and understanding when Burn's in trouble, making recovery runs. Botman was excellent yesterday, as was Fabian Schär. I thought we had a trademark Fabian Schär performance yesterday where he wasn't too troubled. He was quite fortunate that all of the pacey players were on the other side. He didn't have to deal with any fast runners. Watkins, he was okay against, to be fair. I was quite impressed. And he read the play quite well several times, cut out several balls. And you can see further up, Bruno and Tonali, they rotated throughout that game. Tonali played in the 6 quite a lot. Bruno played in the 6 quite a lot. It was very free-flowing. It was lovely to see. Trippier was kind of unmarked, to be fair, because there was such an impetus for them on that other side. Trippier was quite open quite a lot of the time. I thought Miggy was okay. It wasn't his best game, but he contributed where he needed to. And obviously Isak, well, Eddie Howe in that interview after the game mentioned a complete player, and then Isak wandered behind him, and he went, "Oh, as Alex walks past me behind, he knows he's a complete player. He can come and receive the ball deep. He can run in behind. He can play out wide. He can do whatever he needed to. His hold-up play yesterday was exceptional. His aerial duels, his physicality, his running with the ball, just all of it. Goal scoring. I mean, what didn't Isak do yesterday? He did everything. Yeah. So let's have a look at SofaScore. Lovely, lovely stat time for everyone. So Isak, how did Isak do? He dropped an 8 for SofaScore rating with 2 goals, with an XG of 0.77, hence the Peter Dinklage. Obviously, he shouldn't have got as many as 2 goals. But although I feel like he had an additional chance there, he had 3 shots on target. That third shot, I feel like, could have been a goal.
He put clean through, wasn't he?
Missed.
Yeah, and he tried to put it near post, and Martinez got his foot to it. But I think he should have scored that as well.
So yeah, successful dribble. It doesn't really do him justice here. I feel like it says aerial duels. He didn't win any, but I could have sworn I saw him win an aerial duel, to be fair. Possibly the header may have gone to a Villa player. It can happen. But I felt like he was okay physically. I think this does him a bit dirty statistically. But then the man that everybody wants to see, of course, is Sandro Tonali. Let's have a look at it. Look at this heat map. Look at that heat map. He's everywhere. Absolutely everywhere. In all the places. You can see primarily where he wants to be, though, on that right-hand side, because then he can play those naughty little passes, which we saw quite frequently. So there's the goal. 89% passing accuracy. SofaScore has got him down as 48 out of 54 passes. A few websites have got it slightly different to that, but it is what it is. 2 key passes, again, another reason we brought him in. A couple of shots on target. Missed his big chance, which was that second shot. Physicality was okay. 2 out of 6 ground duels. He won his only aerial duel. Again, I saw him competing for the ball a bit more than that. Again, his pressures was the second highest for any player in a black and white shirt. Drew a foul once, fouled twice. Got an interception as well. I thought he was absolutely outstanding, and you could see exactly why we brought him into the team. Who do we want to see?
Fabian Schär. Someone asked for Fabian Schär. I thought he had a good game. I thought he
dropped to 6.8.
Yeah,
5 clearances, 2 interceptions. His interceptions were very good. We noticed it at that, during the game that they were very clever. You can see where he spends most of his time in the heat map. He won his only aerial duel. Very, very tidy with his passes. 4 out of 10 accurate long balls. I feel like he had quite a steady game yesterday. They didn't challenge him too much. I feel like most of that pressure came down this side with Sven Botman and Dan Burn. Dan Burn with a crazy heat map here. I thought he did all right, to be fair. 4 tackles, got interception, block shot, clearance, very active. He lost one aerial duel, which I do remember, actually. It's never good losing an aerial duel when you're that tall.
Leon Bailey has lost it too.
I think it might have been, yeah, because I pointed it out, didn't I?
Yeah.
But then Botman, I feel like covered him very, very well. But it's weird because obviously Dan Burn's the older player, and I feel like and Botman's the young protege, but Botman plays like he's the experienced guy who's got to cover everyone. And Botman was putting out so many fires yesterday. It was unreal. Look at that. 4 clearances, a block shot, an interception, a couple of tackles. He was getting involved with the duels. He was offside as well once, apparently. 93% pass accuracy. Very, very steady. One was, of course, a key pass, which the key pass presumably was his assist. Yeah, there we go. It is. So excellent stuff. Gordon, what did we get out of Gordon? I mean, you can see what I mean here by he was either joining as a left winger or helping Dan Burn out. Either or.
He got an assist. They've missed that run back into the corner of the sort of the pitch in the area.
They have, yeah. Well, that was only once, so it probably wasn't enough to get him to appear on the heat map. So he gets his assist, 2 successful dribbles. He got a block shot, a couple of key passes, nice and high passing accuracy for an offensive player as well. Ludicrous amounts of ground duels, 11 out of 19. The poor man was fouled 7 times. They just could not handle him at all. They could not handle Anthony Gordon. So much so, Matty Cash had an absolute shocker. Oh dear. Yeah, not great from Matty Cash there. So let's have a look at our FOTMob. So we've got some nice data of all of our shots. So the expected goal was the XG for that game. We clocked up 3.41 XG, which again I feel like does us a little bit dirty. I think we were maybe good for the amount of goals we scored. Villa with 1.77, of course, that Matty Cash chance. They missed a few absolute sort of right in front of goals. Carlos missed one there. Luis, not sure where Cash's shot is. Is it this one? That one? Might be that one. There you go. That's Cash's miss. So that was a 0.7 XG chance. You're going to score that 70% of the time, and he skied it over the net. They've added fast break as a situation as well. Nice. So we can look at our goals. So Tonali, that was the opener. 0.22 XG from that, from regular play. Lovely stuff. We've got Isak's goal, which was the Peter Dinklage, which was a 0.08 XG. We've got Barnes's goal here, which he scored half of them. It was a fairly open and shut case there. Wilson's goal, 0.47 XG. And then Isak's, which was from the Botman pullback, 0.44 as well, which I feel like was fairly open and shut as well. 17 total shots to Villa's 16. We had 9 big chances, though, which just goes to show we did have a lot more control of that game. And the scoreline was thoroughly deserved. 4-8 passes, so more than Villa. Villa with 5 additional fouls as well. They possibly should have had more. I feel like the ref let quite a few go.
Absolutely.
And 6 corners to 5. But overall, we definitely deserved that. Thoroughly deserved it. If we want to see the average positions as well from SofaScore, this is what I set up on the tactical view. So this is our average positions. You can see very, very much it's these two that are pulling the strings. Joe Linton's not really a midfielder anymore. It's kind of, this is what Eddie Howe said in his interview after the match. We do have a shape, we do have a formation, but it's very much, it depends on what stage the game is in, where Joe Linton needs to be, where Gordon needs to be, whether Trippier is pushed up. It's everything matters. It depends on the opposition shape as well. And I mentioned this to Billy before we went live. If we look at Villa, they're actually a carbon copy of us, just in reverse. You can see that they've got Luis and Kamara there. There you go. There's the Villa map. So you've got the 6 and the 44 is Luis and Kamara in the middle, trying to match us up. You've got Digne, the 12, out on the side, which did work once. They got the goal from the Digne cross. And then their threat was 19 and 31, which is Diaby and Leon Bailey. They got a goal from it. I thought Bailey was reasonably good for about half an hour, maybe. I thought he was a little bit unlucky to get subbed off. And it just didn't work. They couldn't get Watkins any service. McGinn couldn't really get into the game. And it was that central area. We were just so much better than them. That's why they had to bring Tielemans in to try and break this up. And then they just ran out of legs and we just steamrolled them. But it's just excellent stuff from us again. So well done, everyone. And we still had, well, Anderson came on. Lewis Miley didn't even play. He played for the under-21s. Shout out to them. They scored 5 today. So Wilson got on, Anderson got on, Longstaff got on, Murphy got on, Barnes got on. Was that it? I think it was. Yeah, there was our 5 subs. So it's worth having a look.
All the attacking players, basically.
How did our substitutions get rated? Oh, there we go. It's Barnes with an 8.5. Look at that.
Wow.
Barely anything there because he wasn't on for very long. He got an assist and a goal. So frightening stuff there with 2 key passes, two big chances created. He was very explosive. 2 out of 4 ground duels.
Also, Jacob Murphy coming in the 86th minute according to that and got dropped to 7.5.
Bloody hell, yeah. Completed all of it. Well, it's because he did 5 passes, 2 of which were key passes, and he created a big chance for his team. Basically, Jacob Murphy came on and did nothing wrong. He completed every pass, every dribble, every duel, and got an assist. Good effort.
Bruker says, what did Newcastle change tactically after Mings' injury? There was only one team that was going to win after that. I don't think we did. I think it was the fact they couldn't replace Mings. They're very dependent on Tyrone Mings. 1 for his pace, 2 for his leadership. Pau Torres has hardly played from pre-season. He came on. Yeah. They still played the high line. Pau Torres lacks a little bit of pace. He's a great footballer, but not the quickest defender in the world. And they still try to play the same way, and it didn't work, did it?
I mean, Shearer mentioned this in the match of the day review in the analysis that there was one instance where Pau Torres was jogging back, and we just got the ball over the top, and then Conser didn't cover properly. It was just they weren't in the right mind frame to be playing a high line at all. They weren't fit enough. They weren't technically good enough. They weren't reading the game well enough. And yeah, I think losing Mings hurt. Because Pau Torres didn't look as comfortable doing it. We just completely overrun them. You know, any concerns? I mean, obviously there's still a little bit of concern about Dan Burn because there is a reason why they were targeting him because that is how you try and get in behind. But we were very aware of that. I thought Dan Burn actually had a very good game. He won. He actually, his ball recoveries were really, really good. Lots of tackles. He was very involved. He was very aware, focused. Botman put out a few fires when he couldn't quite get there. And they supported each other. They were all fully aware of each other's strengths and weaknesses, and we're covering for it. And that's what Eddie Howe and the coaching staff are planning for. And it's great. It's great that we're identifying our own weaknesses within the squad, and we've got that balance. And we definitely deserve that victory.
Dan says, can we please discuss one thing that is huge for this season? No 12:30 kickoffs. Well, we don't know that yet. They can change the fixtures at a drop of a hat, Sky and BT. So the first set of fixtures, I don't believe there is. But after that, you know, it's pot luck. Right, it's time for our marks now. Firstly and foremostly, we'll start with the goalkeeper, Nick Pope. Alex, give us a mark out of 10. I think we're in a familiar situation with what we were last season for a lot of the time here.
How are we going to rate keepers? How are we doing this?
Starts.
It's hard, isn't it?
He didn't drop any bollocks, did he? Let's be honest. So let's start him at 7. If he did anything fantastic, he can go up. Right. If he did anything shit, go down.
Right, if we're starting keepers at 7 with an average performance, I'll give him an 8 then. I thought his distribution was okay. A few smart saves, one particularly good save. Didn't have as much to do. So if we're going to start them on a 7, I think he did enough to get an additional point. I think he was good. So I'll give him an 8. I don't think we can give him any more than that because he didn't have that much to deal with.
No, he made one brilliant save from the Watkins shot where he turned Botman inside out, but nothing else to do apart from that, as far as I can remember. No chance with the goal whatsoever. So I think 8's fair, yeah. I think he didn't drop any bollocks. Like I say, one brilliant save from the Watkins shot. Kieran Trippier, what do you think about him?
That's a tricky one.
I'll start then.
Too high with it. Yeah, you start.
Well, I'll start. I thought he started the game pretty sloppily, to be perfectly honest. The first 15 minutes or so looked a bit sloppily with giving the ball away, poor set pieces, being outdone on that far flank, culminating in the goal actually. But after the goal, I thought he got much better, and he put his stamp on the side. I'm going to give him a 7. I'm going
to give him an 8 for exactly the same reason. I did think he was a little bit sloppy, but I appreciated his captaincy and his leadership later on in the game. I like the alternate set pieces with Tonali, and I thought he was very good stepping into midfield. He was integral. I thought he was excellent second half, absolutely exceptional second half. So I feel like that bumps him up for me a little bit. I'm going to give him an 8.
Okay. Dan Burn on the other defensive flank.
I'm going to give him the same, actually, to be fair, because I think Leon Bailey was one of the most highly rated wingers in Europe when he came from Leverkusen. Diaby equally also came from Leverkusen. Funny that. One of the most frightening wingers in Europe or forwards, whatever we're going to call him. They specifically set up to target Burn. It was to shift it to that side, run it down Burn, and he coped with everything. The goal wasn't his fault. I don't think he did anything wrong. I thought he was rather good. I might actually give him higher. I think he possibly even deserves a 9. Because I think he did. I don't want to give him a 9, but I think he did better than Trippier. So I've got to, by my own ratings, I'll give him a 9.
I'm going to give him an 8. Precisely what you just said. I thought he was better than Trippier. Did nothing wrong. I thought he joined in the attack nicely as well. Even a few did he attempt a back heel at one point? Sure he did.
I think he did. He did do something like that. Yeah, it was a good performance from Dan Burn.
Yeah, very good. One of his best, actually. Like you say, against Bailey and Diaby on that side, there was potential there for it to be a disaster, and it wasn't. He was solid. Fabian Schär, centre half. I'll start if you want. He had an outstanding game. You don't need pace all of the time. And Fabian Schär, when he reads the game like he did yesterday, it was just a pleasure to watch. Actually, I don't think he was beaten at all. From what I can remember, some really crucial interceptions, just being in the right place at the right time. And I think having Tonali in the side will help Schär. Some of the problems with Fabian Schär sometimes is he gets too far forward and can't get back, because I think he felt at times last season that he had to do more, kind of help the midfield create, especially if Bruno wasn't playing. And he doesn't have to do that now because Tonali's in the side. I thought Schär looked really, really solid. I'm going to give him a 9.
I'm going to give him an 8 for the same reasons. I don't think he had to do enough. I don't think he did enough or had to do enough to maybe warrant quite that high, just in my opinion. But 88% pass accuracy, four long balls. His interceptions were very, very clever ones as well. Well positioned for them. But I completely agree with the Tonali stuff. I feel like now we've got that long ball threat. Where's the long ball coming from? Is it going to come from Schär, Botman, Trippier, Tonali, Bruno? If someone makes a run, or they're just going to keep rotating, nobody knows where the ball's going to come from. Because we've got multiple players who can play that ball. So, yeah, I'm Schär. I'm giving an 8.
His centre half partner, Sven. I think you got him.
Botman. I want to give him an 8, but I'm really annoyed that he got skinned by Watkins in that one chance. I feel like that's annoying because I feel like playing against elite players in the Champions League, he's gonna have to not do that. He's gonna need to stay on his feet and not fall over. I'll be kind. I'll give him an 8. We'll ignore that. It happens occasionally. But in terms of his just putting out fires behind Dan Burn on anything, because he had to try and be the wide cover and make sure he committed at the right time. You are the centre half. Do you leave? Do you leave Cher on his own, or do you stay? And his judgment 10 times out of 10 was perfect. Plays like a seasoned centre half. So I'll give him an 8.
I'll also give him an 8. I'm going to ignore that the error he made with Watkins getting too far on one side and getting kind of twisted inside out. I'm going to take that out of the equation, and also the assist for the goal. They can cancel each other out, and I'll give him an 8 also. So we're both giving him an 8. Yeah, I thought he was solid again. In the 6, Bruno, how do you think he got on yesterday? I thought he was much better. I've got to be honest.
Yeah, that's a tricky one, because I feel like it's one of those where I think 8 is a little bit generous and 7's maybe a little bit harsh, but we don't do halves in this channel. I'll be nice. I'll give him an 8. But I do feel like he had a poor first half. By his standards, again, he seems to grow into games. It's a funny one. We really need him to cut it out and just do both halves. You've got to play both halves. 2 or 3 overhit long balls, misreading the play. Through ball that didn't work. He lost the ball slightly higher up as well. But then in the second half, he turned it on. The style was there. Link-up play with Tonali was great. Looked a lot better. I think it's maybe just his fitness and his confidence and that sort of rusty touch. It's looking better than it did, to be fair. So I'm confident he'll be fine.
Yeah, I thought. Well, I've been saying it for a while actually. There is a pattern to how Bruno starts games. He is a very slow start, or has been this pre-season, and yesterday to a certain extent. Also, he did some nice things first half. The shot that led eventually to the Tonali goal was nice, but second half I thought it was bloody brilliant. I really do. I just thought he stamped his foot in the game, and Douglas Luiz was very much his underling, wasn't he? He stamped all over him really second half. So I think 8's fair for Bruno. The next one's going to be the most obvious score of all. Sandro Tonali, Alex.
I mean, he gets a 10. Range of passing, physicality, goal scorer, set piece contribution, defensive work rate, the amount of pressures. 10 out of 10.
The most obvious score of the weekend, I think. One of the best debuts I think I've ever seen from a Newcastle United player. And I've seen some good ones in my time, but 18 months or so ago, I can remember saying that Bruno's got the potential to be the best all-round midfielder I've seen play for Newcastle. I'm going to say the same about him, because Tonali in one game has done virtually everything: scored goals, defended, passed, ran, harried, hassled. It did everything. It was the perfect performance to me. A 10 out of 10. Absolutely outstanding. Joe Linton?
Joe Linton, I'm going to give a 9. I think he was... maybe a lot of people don't remember his performance. He was quietly cracking on with his job, which was hard work. He needs to cut this stuff out where he's just ball chasing. That irritates me. Where there's like a trio of players passing the ball and he just runs around. He needs to stop ball following when he's pressuring. But generally the pressures, again, he got the most pressures out of anybody in a black and white shirt with I think it was 37 pressures. Again, a couple of the goals, he was involved in the build-up, in the passing sequences. He's the one retaining the ball, making sure he's not, getting bullied off it. He's finding the extra pass. He helped with the first one with Gordon on that left wing. So, again, the work he does with Gordon was so integral. And then he was, you've got to be such an intelligent player and so positionally aware, because he was floating up to be next to Isak. He was covering with Burn. He was up left wing with Gordon. He was dropping into midfield. I feel like it's massively understated how important Joe Linton was in that game yesterday. 100% deserves a 9 from me. Maybe if he crept up with a goal, he gets a 10. But he was, I don't know. What's the right word? He's not a metronome, because that's not what he is. But
he's a battering ram.
We need a word for it. He was a battering ram. He was a battering ram, but he was quite a discreet battering ram yesterday. He made everything work, But everybody was looking at all the technically gifted, flashy players. And Joe Linton was just there, recycling the ball, working really hard, and he's got a reasonably good technical level himself. Let's not kid ourselves.
Cyberram. How about Cyberram?
Yeah, maybe.
Because I mean, he was involved in 2 of the goals also, as well as really dominating the midfield physically. I'm loath to give him a 10 because I've just given Tonali a 10, and I think that needs to shine out. But I will give Joe Linton a 9/10 because I thought he was absolutely stunning. So 9 for me for Joe Linton also. I thought he had a fantastic game. Back to his best again as well. And quite disciplined too, which he could have lost that yesterday with the way the referee was refereeing the game, and he didn't. So fair play to him for that. Kudos for him. We'll start on the left-hand side of the forward three.
Can I just mention, Abs has just said that Bruno's our most mobile midfielder. I think he's our least mobile midfielder. I think Tonali's faster and more agile.
Yeah, I think you might be
Joe
right.
Linton the same. Longstaff, you could argue Bruno's maybe a little bit more agile and quicker than Longstaff, but not by loads. I don't think he's a particularly fast midfielder. He's just very technically gifted.
I'm not sure. I don't think it's. You can, yeah, I think I agree with you. Because I mean, there is times when I've thought Bruno gets outrun sometimes, but he hasn't got
He's not
massive...
the fastest player at all. He's
No.
not. He's not overly mobile.
Talking of overly mobile players, we'll do Anthony Gordon now. A
He is overly
fantastic
mobile.
game of football from a sort of player that we've been expecting it from after his pre-season with England 21s, and confidence obviously is skyrocketing, and it showed in his performance yesterday. So out of 10 for Gordon.
I think he gets a 9 as well. I think he gets the same as Joe Linton. He got an assist. His defensive work rate was great. His understanding of where to be and when to be there. He looked like a proper team player, playing with a smile on his face, work rate. The lads really enjoyed their football yesterday, and Gordon was part of that. I feel like the ego's been shelved, and he understands that if he gets his head down, he can be part of something very, very special. 9 out of 10. I feel like if he popped up with a goal, it's a 10 again, same as Joe Linton. Close to a 10, but not quite enough. But a 9, nearly perfect from Gordon. We can't ask for much more than him. What he did yesterday, he ran his absolute socks off. He ran his and other people's socks off. He ran all of the socks off. It was absurd.
Yeah, fantastic performance. I'm going to give him a 9 for exactly the same reasons, but the lad's still nowhere near his peak. Still got a lot to learn. He's still raw, and I think we should be excited for what he's going to be, not just what he is now. So, yeah, fantastic. Miggy on the other side.
You want to go?
I think it's a hard one to mark. He didn't do anything wrong. He did lots of things right, and he looked much better actually when he came inside and floated around a little bit. But there were times when he did that where he left Trippier and kind of in the shit, if I'm perfectly honest.
Well, it was once, but
yeah. So he's hard to mark. I'm going to give him an 8. I'm going to give him an 8 because I thought at times when he came inside, and probably should have had an assist yesterday. There was one crazy when he crossed it across, and all he had to do was roll it along the floor, and Wilson would have probably scored, or was it Isak? I can't remember who it was now. But yeah, very dangerous. They were scared of him. I think he had Dini on. I mean, Dini's not the greatest defender in the world, let's be honest. He's an attacking left back. But I think Miggy had him on toast on many occasions. So 8 for me.
I'm going to give him a 7 for the same reasons. I think 8's possibly a little bit too generous. But I think he was okay against Digne as a matchup. Digne is obviously quite an offensive fullback. Made a big mistake, which could have cost us a goal. But was good, worked very hard. Maybe not quite as much running as he normally does, but I think our attacking onus was very much on that left-hand side. It's very different because last year there was a funny triangle between Longstaff, Miggy, Trippier. There was less of that yesterday. That I didn't see quite as much of sort of Tonali going and doing things with Miggy. A little bit, bits of it, but I feel like it was very much let's pull them over and attack down the left. Whereas, we previously have used Miggy a lot more, but I think Miggy will be absolutely fine, but 7 for me. And you do Wilson. I just need to let the dog out. Be 1 sec.
Wilson,
sorry.
Isak even. I'll start Isak then. Well, in the past, I've kind of said that Isak physically is going to struggle, and he proved me wrong last season, and yesterday did it again. I thought he gave the ultimate all-round centre-forwards performance. I thought he held the ball up really well. He came deep for sometimes, took it with his back to goal, laid it off nicely. He also showed bits of speed and skill and finishing ability. Possibly should have had 3. Definitely should have had 3, in fact. The second goal there was an absolute phenomenal strike. Chipping over the keeper, Peter Dinklage. It was just cultured play. I'm going to give him a 10. I'm going to give him a 10, although his 10 isn't as good as Tonali, because I thought Tonali was man of the match. But yeah, Isak was fantastic, and 2 great goals, alertness, being in the right place at the right time. Just a great centre forward performance. So I'm going to give Isak a 10 out of 10. 10 for me, Alex.
Well, I think I'll have to agree with you there. Although I am going to take a step back from these Henry comparisons. I feel like there are elements of how Henry played in Isak's game, but Isak 6'3", receives the ball a lot deeper, does different things as well. But I understand. I understand the comparisons. But yesterday, yeah, he's got everything. He can win it in the air. He's physically strong. He's clever. He can spin people. He can drive from deep. His dribbling's great. He's an exceptional winger. He's a decent centre forward. Well, decent's probably harsh. He's a very good centre forward. His finishing is so deadly. It's lethal. He gets shots off consistently, and his pressures are really good. What are we missing? I mean, Eddie Howe said complete player, and then made a joke as he walked past. He's as close to as a complete player as you can get. And yeah, Tom's just hit the nail on the head. Isak is not Henry. He's Isak. Yeah, I think let's not go too crazy here, but let's see what he does in the next 5 years before we say who he is, because I feel like he might be able to carve out a career where we can use his name to talk about him and his skill set, because he could be that good. I feel like now several players have left the league. A lot of people are saying this on Twitter, and I completely agree. Alexander Isak is the second best striker in the Premier League right now, and he is going to be an absolute superstar.
Yeah, I think he's the best all-round striker, if I'm perfectly honest. He's not the greatest scorer, but he's all-round, for what you want from a centre forward.
I think he might be, though. I think he might be able to get all the goals.
Possibly, yeah, possibly. So all-round at the minute, I think he already is. I said this last year, and a few eyebrows were raised. I mean, bits of his game I didn't think he had. He showed in abundance. Did it again yesterday as well. So all round. But yeah, when the goals start to flow with it, if he gets 25, 30 goals this season, I think he's really capable of doing it. You've got to ask the question, really.
See, there's a lot of people saying 20. I think he'll break 20, breakout season. Honestly, if our team clicks, obviously we've got Champions League football and stuff to worry about, but I honestly think he could get 30 plus in all competitions. I don't see why not. The kid is a freak. He's absurdly good at football. Why not? If Liverpool forwards are going to get 30 plus, why can't Isak? Honestly, with this technically gifted team, we're going to be able to create more for him than we did last season, and he's going to get more minutes. As long as he doesn't get injured, I honestly don't see why he can't get 30. Never mind 20. And I'm shocked. Like Wilson, I think Wilson's cap is 20. I don't see Wilson getting more than 20. I thought he did. That was one of his best seasons to get 18, and he was brilliant. But I think Isak is on another level.
I agree. Talking of Wilson, he came in as a sub in the second half. Don't know what the minutes were, but him and Barnes came up together, I believe. Callum Wilson did score a goal, but he also missed a real sitter. I'm going to give him a 7, purely because of the time he was on, and for missing that chance as well.
I'm going to give him an 8 for the same reasons. But he's got to make sure he's a bit more clinical than that. He's older, he's wiser, he's far more experienced, and there are going to be games where missing chances of that quality could lose us points. So keep your shooting boots on, pay attention. I know they were having fun and it didn't matter, but it may matter. Goal difference might be a factor, and in future games, it might. You need to bury chances, and he knows that. He'll be frustrated with himself. He wants to score all the time. So, I'll give him an 8, and I think his his energy's better as well. I think he's fine again. He had that period where he struggled last year. Obviously, he doesn't look as fit as Isak does, but Isak's a 23-year-old machine. But Wilson looks like he's recovered. His pressing and his speed looks better now. I'm really happy that's recovered because I was a little bit concerned that was gone for good. So it's nice that that's stayed.
Tony says Wilson 8, the miss was a save. He shouldn't have had the chance to save it when he was only 3 or 4 yards out. Honestly, he's got to score that 99 times out of 100. I think he'd be really disappointed that he didn't score it, if I'm honest. Barnes came on at the same time as him. Do you want to go for him first?
Yeah, Barnes gets a 9 from me. I mean, if he'd have played more, I might have given him a 10, but because he wasn't on for very long. But nearly perfect score with a goal and an assist, slotted in perfectly. Again, that inverted winger that we wanted. Work rate, quality. You could see what happened. I don't know if you remember. We mentioned this at the time as well. He started to orchestrate a 1-2 for a breakaway on the halfway line, and they knew it was coming. They just took him out. Because as soon as he played the pass, ready to receive the 1-2 and run in behind again, and they went, "Nah, I can't be asked." Just took him out, fouled him because they knew it was coming. You just know what you're going to get with Barnes. It's difficult. It's one of those that as an opposition player and as a coach, you know what he's going to do. You can plan for it, but you can't always stop it because he's just a really good player. But yeah, 9 out of 10. I
think it's fairly uniform. Everyone's kept for the odd 10. Everyone's given him 9. I'm going to do the same. Yeah, I thought
people saying he got 2 goals. He didn't get 2 goals. He got 1 goal.
1 goal and 1 assist. Mm-hmm. Should have had more than 1 assist, mine, but there you go. He got 1 assist. We'll have to mark Murphy because he came on and created an assist to go with a fantastic bit of play.
He did.
It's only on 5 minutes, mind, but what do we score?
I'm going to give Murphy a 10.
He deserves one. He does.
He did. Everything was perfect. He didn't miss a single pass. He didn't mess up a single duel. Everything was 100% statistically, and he's just awesome. I love Jacob Murphy. He's great. I feel like more people, more fans should be getting Jacob Murphy on their shirt. I feel like he deserves it. He's a legend.
I agree with that, but I'm not going to give him a 10. I'll give him a 9. What about Longstaff? Longstaff came on at the same time. I'm missing around. Can we mark Longstaff?
7. Didn't do anything wrong, but
I think that's fair.
Does what he does.
So he made 4 subs, or did we make 5?
Anderson came on as well.
Anderson too. Do you want to give him the archetypal 7 as well?
Anderson came on in the 90th minute. He had the least amount of minutes. He got 3 touches, 1 pass. Yeah, I'd say that's an NA. Difficult to mark that.
We shan't mark him then. Eddie Howe, the coach.
Who do you want to go first?
I'll go first. I thought he totally and utterly out-coached Unai Emery yesterday. Revenge for what happened last March, April, whenever it was. I thought it was fantastic. I thought everything he did was fantastic. I thought the selection was fantastic. The subs came on at the right time. Every player contributed to a really, really good performance. One of the best I've seen for years. You can't not give him 10. You can't not.
Yeah, I'm going to give him 10 out of 10. He's added to the squad this summer. He's part of the recruitment process, as we've seen in the documentary. Gordon was very much Eddie Howe's number 1 target, as well as the sort of the technical staff, and he's built this team. We played Villa in pre-season, so you could argue Emery / Eddie Howe had got a little bit of an idea, and Howe absolutely just blew him off the park tactically. We won the first half, we won the second half, we won the whole game. We scored 5 goals. We could have scored more. We just outworked them. The fitness levels, the passing sequences, the pressures, the shape as well. The way we set up to handle Diaby and Bailey, I thought we did very well. We dealt with Watkins. Yeah, it's all coaching. Just Eddie Howe and the coaching staff just deserve a 10 out of 10. Because this is a real tough season for them as well. There will be bumps in the road, and we've got to take these victories because this is unfamiliar territory for Eddie Howe and Jason Tindall. We're in the Champions League, so they're going to have to try and figure out how to navigate this. It's new for them as well. So 10 out of 10. They're handling it perfectly so far.
Julie J even gives Mad Dog a 10 out of 10 for staying in the dugout and being disciplined. I agree with that.
Yeah.
I agree with that. Do you know what we're going to do? Because it's a victory. I think we've got a bit of Daisy, you know.
Yeah, why not?
So a bit of Daisy. There you go. Victory Daisy there, singing a song. Should have loads of cow emojis, and here they all come. Daisy gets 10 out of 10. We've come to the end of the show, folks. Been a great show tonight. Been a great weekend. Perfect start to the season. We shall be with you tomorrow night. Latest news show. Possible transfer links. I saw one earlier as well, which is possible. Seeing the position he is. I'll inform Alex afterwards. So we should be here tomorrow with news, transfer news, and everything that's going on with Newcastle United. 7 o'clock sharp. Be here or be there or be square. Simple as that. But until then, I wish you a very good evening. Stato, do the trigger line, do the Billy line.
Away the lads and lasses.
Away the lads and lasses. And we shall see you tomorrow night. Have a great rest of your time, folks, tonight.
Come back and check on some green.